Hola, señores maesticos santos. Quiero hablar contigo. No, today a couple of notes. So I don't know if you knew this, but in Psalm 16, you guys are referred to as saints, majestic ones. And God says, "In whom is all my delight." So among the earth, on the planet, you guys are the best thing about this planet, from God's point of view, anyway. That's Psalm 16, verse 3. But I wanted to catch up on a couple of notes that I've been thinking through over the last week. One about Isaac's question when it came to like anxiety, or I'll even say condemnation versus the leading of the Spirit or the prompting of the Spirit. And I'm out here on my sun porch, and like the sun is just really bright, so that's why I have my little hat on. But the one other thing that kind of really occurred to me last night is Romans 8:1. Romans 8:1 has been huge to me. It says that there is therefore, because of, what's the therefore? Therefore, the therefore is therefore because of the last verse in Romans chapter 7. And I don't remember, but it says, so 8:1 says, there's no condemnation for those who are in Christ. And we are in Christ. So we go through, and I've got this kind of nagging thing, right, that's going on in my mind. Or I'm just noticing, hey, I'm feeling unsettled. I'm not feeling at peace. Something's bothering me. Let's slow down. Lord, I'm not feeling at peace. Help me understand what's going on. Am I missing something? Am I not rejoicing? And I listen. And it might be, God points out, hey, you're holding on to some bitterness. You have not forgiven somebody from your past or somebody that you've interacted with lately. Or it might be you're kind of having a bad attitude about this or that, or I'm looking for satisfaction in the wrong things. And I can go through those and just kind of think through them, or I can go through and like, man, nothing comes up and I'm still not feeling it. Then I got to go to Romans 8:1 and say, there's no condemnation for me. I've asked the Lord, is there any sin in my heart? I'm ready to obey to the ends of the earth. You just say it and I do it. I can trust you because no matter what you tell me, it's going to be good for me. So and once I kind of have that, and I'm, all right, yeah. And I give it a few minutes and I listen. But when nothing comes up, I got to shut down those voices. I say, you know what? Just give them the middle finger or just shut them down entirely, according to Romans 8:1. So I'm gonna really bank on this verse that God has given me. And I think the latter parts of Romans 8 as well. Like, who can condemn us? Who's going to accuse us now? It's not God. It's not Jesus. He's the one who died for us. He's the one who's interceding for us. And then I also, so that's one thought that I had. Another thought, when it comes to walking in the Spirit, so much of it, I know we mentioned that, just comes down to asking. God, I don't understand XYZ. How do I do XYZ? Third thought that I didn't get a really much a chance to go into or remember, one of the two, I think is being filled with the Spirit. Some people might say, Joe, this is heresy. Being filled with the Spirit is not just about evangelism. And you guys probably already know that. But I can't be filled with the Spirit if I treat my wife flippantly or poorly, right? Or disrespectfully, or just kind of let her do a lot of the work in the house and I'm just gonna, enjoy my game or whatever. And so laying down our lives for the saints and worshiping God, and even, rejoicing has been one of the biggest things in my life that has helped me to walk in the Spirit. Because is God dour? Like, that's a word. It means like severe and down and just kind of slightly negative. Is he pessimistic? No, God is the happiest being in the entire universe. And so sometimes my intensity or people say, oh, I'm just being realistic, but they're kind of being negative. yes, the sorrow lasts for the night, but joy comes in the morning, right? So even though we have some negative things, understanding that God endures sadness and he feels sadness, but he is a very happy God and a joyful God. And so for me, sometimes I may not be in sin or, doing any of this, having unforgiveness or something, or failing to obey, but I might not be walking in the Spirit. I might not be in step with God's Spirit just because I'm not rejoicing. And I don't know, that might be part of my personality. I just kind of lean towards being too serious sometimes. So I encourage you guys with that thought as well, that love and service is kind of a big part of being filled with the Spirit when we're interacting with not just the lost. So it's definitely a full picture of Jesus, right? Like he didn't come to earth. I guess I want to be careful how I say this. He interacted with those who believed in him, as well as those who didn't, to call them to himself, right? There's a loving relationship. There's a strength there, and there's a joy that comes from loving. That is very much a part of the Spirit. I know you guys probably know about that, but I didn't want to miss on that note. And it's only evangelism all the time. Like, okay, well, there's a balance there. And I am going to send a talk that I did at a recent conference that is not exclusively about walking in the Spirit, but it is tied and intermingled with walking in the Spirit, and it has some concepts that if we don't grasp, then we just won't be able to walk in the Spirit at all. And so I'm going to send that link to you guys as well. And so hope you're doing well. Sorry for being a little AWOL. The last week has been kind of tough with the kid. We're hoping that he'll get better when it comes to feeding and that sort of thing. But I love you guys. I enjoyed very much the Bible study, and I hope you're, just really hearing God's pleasure in you and being filled with the love that he has for you, as well as with loving others. Talk soon.